shit. Shut up. Hello. What's good? I haven't recorded myself in a while, but I'm bored. So I thought, why not? This is gonna peak quite a bit, but that's fine. I kind of just wanted to talk about video games because, on the internet that's socially acceptable. So, what should we talk about first? I don't know. Maybe we should talk about A Hat in Time first, because that's the most influential game I think I've ever played. We'll talk about other games later. We'll definitely talk about Sonic. A Hat in Time, gosh. I played that game for the first time when I was 13 or 14, and I didn't think much of it when I first bought it, but when I then played it, I was like, this is perfect. This is the perfect game. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. Like, if you give Skyrim a 10 out of 10, I think you're quite trashy, but I give this game I don't know what I was trying to say with that, but I think Skyrim is pretty okay, but this is not about Skyrim. This is about A Hat in Time. A Hat in Time is just the perfect game because it's charming. It's written very charming. The characters are charming. The voice acting is charming, and the game is charming. I think everyone should just play A Hat in Time at least once in their life because it's good. And yeah, I think it's very good. Because it's like I don't know if anyone's seen this video of some YouTuber who talked about Majora's Mask for a while, but it's kind of similar to that, where you just realize you're missing a piece of media in your life, and you realize this is the thing, this is the exact thing I wanted. And that's kind of what A Hat in Time was for me, just this piece of the puzzle that fitted perfectly, basically, that I missed. And I really love it, I mean, I've said that already, but I sadly bought it on PS4 for the first time because I didn't have my laptop yet, and neither did I have like a Switch, so I basically still don't have the DLC for my PS4, and it runs like ass on Switch, but I still kind of love it. Yeah, it's also just like Snatcher is such a perfect character, and even though a Hat Kid doesn't speak at all, you can still see that she has a certain type of character on her, which I really love. And I wish more characters were kind of like that. Like silent protagonists that still have personality, kind of. I think that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. Hollow Knight's kind of a perfect picture too, isn't it? I wouldn't call Hollow Knight a perfect game, but I would call it the perfect consumer game, because it's probably the most consumer-friendly game I've ever played, because there's no DLC you have to pay for it. It's pretty poggers. And it also has the flower quest, and therefore it is not a 10 out of 10. I think that's fair enough to say. Oh shit, I didn't say spoilers. Well, I'm sorry. Oops. But that's okay. I think everyone's kind of played Hollow Knight already, and I'm not really going to go into detail about the game itself. I'm more going to go into detail about why it's such a perfect picture, because Hollow Knight is, by all means, the near-perfect, most near-perfect Metroidvania, which is great, right? Like, how do you make a Metroidvania that styled that well? And, it's probably just because you have experience playing those games for a while, and that I really like, because, like, there should be experience to the games you're playing. And I think they knew exactly what they were doing. But let's just talk about, like, the visuals in particular, because that's, I think, what draws a lot of people in. There is an area that's called the Forgotten Crossroads, which is beautiful, and then you realize, damn, this is all a lot like dark blue and gray, color palette wise, like everything else in the game kind of is. And then the immediate next area is this beautiful like forest park. It's so pretty. I really like that place, Green Path. It's probably like my favorite or second favorite area. And then the third area is like a mushroom place. It's so pog. This game's actually perfect. But I think my favorite area right now is the city, but I'm not gonna go into detail much. Hollow Knight's just like a perfect game, and I think everyone who's into games should play Hollow Knight at least once before they die. What's another game that really impacted me? I think Skylanders was a pretty perfect game as a kid. It was baby's first beat 'em up, but I played it a lot with my dad, and that's why it means so much to me. But a game that means even more to me because I played it with my dad is Sonic and the Secret Rings, which is by far like one of the shittiest Sonic games, but the multiplayer mode was really good. Like it had like a party multiplayer, and I played the shit out of that with my dad, and my dad would play Tails because that was his favorite Sonic character, and then I played Sonic. And that was really pog. Like I loved playing that shit with my dad. I was super good at some of those mini games at some point too. And I kind of miss shit like that, right? When it had like optional multiplayer modes that were just good. Because this was basically just Arabic Mario Party. Like, that's literally what it was. And I really loved it. But then again, speaking of Sonic, like, can we talk about Roger Craig Smith just not being this voice actor anymore? Which is super weird because I really love Roger. And as much as most people think he's shit, I think he works incredibly well for Sonic, like as a teenager, because that's not what Sonic's meant to be, a teenager. And you know, he's snarky and perfect and sarcastic, just like what he was meant to be. I just think it was written so poorly and directed so poorly. I think Roger could have done a lot of amazing stuff. I think his performance in Colors was amazing, and I think his performance in Sonic Boom, the cartoon, not the game, but even in the game, their performances are very good. They're just so annoying, and they never shut the fuck up, and that's lame. I'm talking specifically about Rise of Lyric, but, you know, I think I'll miss Roger a bit. But then, let's go on to Sonic's voice acting in general. My favorite voice actor for Sonic is and always will be Jason. I don't think anyone can beat Mr. Griffith at all. He was incredibly good at both Sonic and Shadow, and Jet. He also did Jet. I really loved his performance, and specifically because he started with Sonic X, and you can tell that he really grew with Sonic's character, and the same with Shadow's character, but that's besides the point. I just really liked his performance in Unleashed, but I just think Unleashed is the perfect Sonic game, which is funny because none of my favorite Sonic characters are actually in Unleashed. I just thought it was written perfectly. Yeah, and then, like, I just love that game. I think it's perfect, but I just also think, like, Griffith is my favorite voice actor for Sonic, and for Shadow, and for Jet, because, well, Jet never really had another role after this, but maybe in the Olympic Games, but that doesn't matter. Griffith was so perfect because he filled the role of a more mature Hedgehog, like the more mature Sonic, which is what he was during Black Knight and Unleashed, right? So that worked, but he also had these perfect moments where Griffith could just be so perfectly snarky and sarcastic, and I really loved it. I should probably talk about fighting games, because I really like fighting games. If anything, I used to compete competitively in Smash Bros. In secret. Not much, and I mean, you probably can't find my name anywhere. But I really love doing that shit. I competed in Smash 4, and I was really bad because I was 12. But now I have a Switch, and now I play Ultimate, and I main Jigglypuff, I main DDD, I main Bowser. Well, I think Bowser is more of a secondary. I think I have 3 mains right now, which are Puff, Mewtwo, and DDD. And then I have Bowser and Ness, maybe, as a secondary. I really just enjoy playing those. But, I think my Mewtwo is kind of cool, but that's also just because I like Mewtwo's fair. Like, it's my whole game plan, just fair. Bowser's fun, too. And I like, the Fire Emblem characters. I like Marth. Marth has a cool mechanic called Tipper. You know, I'm not really gonna talk about the drama, I think. That's not what this video is about. I don't want to talk about what happened in the Smash community back in the summer, and I don't really want to talk about Nintendo. I just want to talk about the games I like. And so if you're here for that, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. It hurt me a little too much. I really love to compete in Smash Bros. Again, but I'm so shit at online that maybe I won't. I think I won't do that. And I also don't have a LAN adapter right now, so it's not like I'm legally allowed to play in tournaments. I have a GameCube controller, which I think was a very good investment. That thing is so comfortable. I've already played with a GameCube controller before, though. But right now I'm playing Rivals of Aether a lot, but because I can't set up my adapter on my computer, it kind of sucks. So I can't really play Rivals with my GameCube, so I'm playing it with my DualShock right now. And I also play Skullgirls, because I think Skullgirls is just such a perfect fighting game as well. It's a traditional fighting game, and I suck at those, but they're fun, and it sounds good. And I play Misfortune, because underboob. And she's fun to play. That's kind of the main thing as well. Speaking of sound good, soundtracks of video games are important, and all the games I just talked about all have good soundtracks. Like A Hat in Time has a really, really good soundtrack that I listen to in my free time quite a bit. Almost every Sonic game sounds amazing and has amazing music. I'd even argue that a lot of music in Forces was good, but I'm a bass head and I like EDM, so that's just my bias, I guess. But Unleashed had like a perfect soundtrack, but I shouldn't talk about Unleashed for too long. Hollow Knight had a really good soundtrack, a very nice orchestral soundtrack, which I enjoyed. What else? Oh yeah, you can't really call Smash Bros. A soundtrack because it just uses the soundtrack of different games, but it remixes them very nicely. And yeah, Skullgirls just has a really nice jazz soundtrack, which I enjoy listening to. But let's talk. Okay, actually, we haven't talked about Lethal League, Blaze, specifically. I've never played the original Lethal League. I've played Blaze, though. Blaze is such a perfect, game, but let's talk about the soundtrack, because everything looks and sounds like it could be a part of a Jet Set Radio. And I mean, who doesn't love Hideki Naganuma? Dead ass. Who doesn't love him? He makes only good music. I kind of love his shit. But, that's just my opinion. What game am I playing right now? I'm not really playing a game, actually. I've never... So this is a bit of a story, but me and my friend, we call him Discord every day, and he loves Yakuza, and I've never seen anything of Yakuza, so, he started a blind playthrough of Yakuza 3, because he'd never played it before, and I've never seen anything of Yakuza before, so we started playing Yakuza 3, and I really loved it. Or at least he started playing it, I started watching the stream, and then we talked a bunch, but it feels like playing together, and, it's fun. Well, and then he lost 90 minutes of progress, and then we just stopped playing Yakuza 3, and yesterday, he started Yakuza 0, which he said was just written very well, and it's, the most liked by the community, so I was like, cool, I'm interested, and I'm very interested, I am invested, bro, I want to know what's gonna happen. I fucking love this shit. It's so well written, man, and the music's good, too. It's all interesting. I don't know why, but Yakuza has this magical thing where it can go from serious to just not serious. It can make fun of itself, but in a perfect way that it doesn't seem distasteful. You know what I mean? It's just good, I guess. Yeah. Wow. Imagine having that much talent to write, very suspenseful scenes, and then the next thing you do is, you go to, karaoke. Yeah. It's all, games are an art form, in my opinion, and that's just me, of course, and a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but I think games are art, and, I think if you disagree on games being art, that's kind of gay, because, most companies put just as much effort into games as artists put into their work. I mean, actually, there are multiple factors of art that come into games. Like the programming, I think, is art in and of itself. The music, which is already considered an art form. The concept art, which is already considered an art form. Which, in my opinion, just makes games like an art form, right? But, I don't know. Kind of run out of things to talk about, so I guess that's it. Thanks for coming and listening. It's really not that interesting, but if you like to hear me mumble, then that's cool. See you next time.